Did you know that your Clifton Strengths assessment, is not an assessment of your strengths? Did you know that? This is something that I have found in my years and years of working with people using this tool, this brilliant, wonderful tool to help us be our best selves. It is not actually a strengths. It's not actually assessment of your strengths. It's not an assessment of what you are good at. It's not an assessment of what you are talented at or skilled at. It's something else. So in this video, I'm going to share exactly what that is so that you can do two things. You can understand when you look at your strengths report, you can understand you a lot better. And also you can help other people understand just how they should be taking this assessment immediately. There shouldn't be any hesitation, any waste of time. Take this assessment now, right? Okay. So first off, biggest problems I see when people take this strengths assessment is they look at the strengths report and they think that those strengths aren't strengths. You know, it's a fascinating thing I've noticed with people where they don't look at strengths the way that Gallup is trying to help them look at them. When you hear the word strengths, what you think of are the things that you are good at, you're highly skilled at, that make a difference in other people's lives. And when you think that's what this assessment is, and you look at that assessment and you get disappointed. This is what happens almost all the time. Usually when a person takes a strengths assessment, there's about sometimes three or four strengths that they wish weren't there. Hi, Mary. It's good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. That you wish weren't there. That's a problem. That's a big problem. The other thing is they'll look at the strengths report and look at the words that go with those strengths, and they'll think, oh, that's who I'm supposed to be. And then they realize that it comes natural. And so because they feel like it comes natural, then they don't see how it's a strength. How could that be a strength? And so what I want to do in this video is kind of break down, how do we solve that problem? How do we help people see the strengths report for what it really is? And when you see the strengths report for what it really is, then you use it better. You use it more properly. So I'm going to break down how the assessment works when it answers your questions. I'm going to break down why does it go from 1 through 34? Why is there an order? Why aren't they just put there? And then that's how we use them. There's a reason there's an order, right? I'm going to put all that together for you. So here's how it works. When you take the strengths assessment, okay, by the way, when I'm done with this, you'll be able to look at your strengths report a lot better. You'll be able to get a lot more results with your strengths when you understand this principle. And I'll break this down for you. So there's 177 questions. Okay, 177 questions that they ask you when you take the strengths assessment. And for me, I'm like, that's amazing, because it takes about 20 or 30 questions to get used to it, to get the hang of it. And after you've gone through those first 20 or 30 questions, even if you answered neutral to all of them, you're still going to get an accurate report. Okay, now next, what the algorithm is doing is it's weighing different, we're going to call them themes, okay? Not strengths, we're going to call them themes, like the competition theme, the activator theme, the relator theme. What it's doing is asking you questions to figure out which of these themes are you more energetically or practically drawn to, right? And so it weighs them together. And all through the assessment, it will take the different themes and pit them against each other in front of you. And you've got to decide which one you want better, right? Which one you want more of or less of, right? Or neutral. By the way, when you take the assessment, don't answer neutral. Just pick one that's mostly you. Okay? It helps. I promise. Anyway, my point in this is that it's weighing those two themes in front of you. And what you're doing is you're telling the system, even subconsciously, which one is a priority for you. You see, you understand? This is why it's not a strengths assessment. It's measuring what you care about, what matters to you. The way the assessment works is the things you care about most are the things you tend to spend the most amount of time with. And because you tend to spend the most amount of time with it, they can be strengths. It doesn't mean they are strengths. It means they can be strengths. It means that you can be talented or really skilled at that thing. Hold on, there's a puppy who wants to say hi. Hello, puppy. There's a puppy. Okay, so do you understand? When you take the strengths assessment, it's not assessing your strengths. It's assessing what you care about. What are your rules? How do you love to do things? Then once you take that assessment, it puts them in order from 1 through 34. 1, the number 1 strength, being the one that you are most energetically and practically drawn to. The 34th strength is the one you are least energetically and practically drawn to. In other words, that's the strength you've been saying no to more than number 1. Does that make sense? And for those of you that are watching this, if you've looked at your top 10 and kind of looked and go, I don't really feel like that one's me, or I don't really feel like I'm good at that one. Or if you've ever looked at your top 10 and go, that one right there only causes problems, right? That's a problem. It's a problem when that happens. So I'm trying to help you solve it. So then now when you go look at your strengths report, you're not looking at the things you're good at. What you're looking at are your rules. What do you believe works for you as an individual? And here's where it gets really interesting. The reason why you get angry, the reason why you get frustrated with others is because they're not following your rules. Because you have somehow convinced yourself that your rules are common sense. Shouldn't everybody be that way? You're starting to see the world's problems right here, right here, right here. You're going to start to see the world's problems right here. You take that strengths assessment and you've consciously and subconsciously told it what you care about. And it has lined it up for you from 1 through 34. And then when you get frustrated with others or angry with others or disappointed by others, it's because they don't know your strengths, which really means they don't know your rules. And so because they don't know your rules, they don't follow them. Why? Because they've got other rules. They've got other strengths. And they need your rules to help balance them out. Just like you need their rules to help balance you out. Check this out. When you take that strengths assessment and you look at those bottom 5 strengths, don't you wish you were skilled at those? Like just really masterfully skilled at those strengths. Mary says, this is one of my biggest takeaways from Summer Strengths. All right, awesome. When you look at those bottom strengths, don't you kind of wish you were like really like a master of those, like really super skilled, right? And if you have felt like that way, like I have, like everybody has, because that's why they go and look at the bottom strengths, understand that your top 10 are what energize you and bring you joy. The bottom ones don't. And so this is why the world needs you. There are people that look at their bottom strengths and see your top strengths. Think about that for just a second. There are people that look at their bottom strengths and they see your top ones. That's right. And they've got 2 options. They can reject you and say, you don't follow my rules. And say, you're not the right people for me. How about? And then they can go along their merry way, hoping to find someone like them, which they will never find. Or they can say, oh, you're different than me. You've got my bottom strengths. Hi. I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to learn from you. I'm going to see what it is you do. And I'm going to try to figure out how to do that with the strengths that I have. And so now you understand that when you take the strengths assessment, it's your rules that you're really learning. And it's like this. So here's how you do it. Here's the step. For those of you that are watching right now, give me any one of your top 10 strengths, and I'll tell you your rules. Not just your rules for you, but the rules for the people you care about, the rules for the things you do, the rules for the people that are involved with what you do, your rules for the world. For those of you that are right here right now live, this is the benefit to jumping on live on my videos. Put one of your strengths here and I'll tell you your rules. So you understand how this works. Just pick any one of your top 10. All right, here we go. Melody says developer. So when a person has developer high, it says that in the description that people of developer love to see improvement in others and will even focus on the tiniest bit of improvement to celebrate. And so if you were to bump that down to one simple word, it would be cheerleader. So that strength is called a cheerleader strength. That means that you believe that cheerleading is a thing that helps you personally. This means that you stick up for cheerleading, which means you also stick up for cheerleaders. Do you understand that, Melody? Is it really weird that you follow me? Not at all. It's not weird at all. Because I'm one of the greatest cheerleaders in the history of time, my friends. Because I can cheer anyone on, even people that you don't like. Because I can see their strengths. So, Melody, one of your very important rules is that we should all be cheerleaders. The world should be a place that cheers others on. The internet, right, Melody? The internet should be a place where people can go to be cheered on and supported and celebrated, even for their tiniest victories. Melody believes that if you post an accomplishment on your Facebook page, that other people should go in there and say, congratulations, way to go, you're amazing, keep it up. This is one of Melody's rules. Does it mean that Melody is an excellent, skilled cheerleader? Heck no, it does not mean that. It just means that she cares about that. But now that she knows that's a strength from the assessment, now Melody has the freedom to go develop it and turn it into a strength, a skill. And so the Melody goes, okay, well then how do I take this desire to cheer people on and tell the world they need to be better cheerleaders? Simple. You make a list of everything that being a developer brings you personally. When you're in developer mode, how does it help you personally? You make a list of those things. And then you think about what is life like when you don't have someone in your life to be a cheerleader? What is life like when you don't have that? And you make a list of that. And you help people see the contrast of life without your rules and life with your rules. And then you ask people, anybody who feels this pain without cheerleading, right? I've got something for you. It's called my developer strength. Okay, let's stop for just a second. I'm going to go over these other ones in just a minute. Pick a top 10 strength, y'all, and I'll tell you your rules. But do you all hear me? You understand what I'm saying? Right? Your strengths are actually your rules. They're the things you care about. They're the things that bring you value. They're also the things you believe the rest of the world should do. This is why you get angry when they're not doing it. Why doesn't the world do it? I see it. Shouldn't everybody see it? Everybody should see it. Because they're my rules. And there's what I know. I know it to be true. Right? My newest strength that just came into my top 10, it's called ideation. And it's now my number 5. So for those of you that want to see my old and new report, I'll be showing that soon. But ideation, which means that one of my rules is if everyone's focusing on this big, wonderful thing, they're missing something else. They're missing something else. And for me, I've got that rule. For me, it works for me. I want the world to believe that. I want the world to follow that because I believe the world should. Okay? Okay. You're welcome, Melody. You're welcome. Okay, now let's go to another one. Here we go. Mary says connectedness. All right, now one of Mary's rules, right, is that for her, is that all things happen for a reason. People of high connectedness believe that all things happen for a reason, that there are no coincidences. And that's a desire that Mary has. It's also a rule that she lives by. It's a thing that helps her get through life and the day and all that stuff. Right? So Mary can tell everybody just how much it helps her to know that there's a plan, that there's a creator, and that there is no bad experiences. You either get what you want or you learn. Right? That's Mary. This is one of Mary's rules. And so then, when you have a rule for you, it's what you know, which means that you know it to be true. It's helpful. Then you believe the world, the whole world should be that. This is why Mary, when Mary runs into people who also have connectedness high, can very instantly, right, relate to her rule that all things happen for a reason, that there are no coincidences, right? And so for Mary, she's looking at the world saying, hey, world, stop looking at things as good and bad. Everything is happening for a reason. Stop, breathe, ask yourself, how could this be a positive? And use it. That's Mary. That's what Mary would tell everybody. So everybody that's in Mary's life, the people she loves and cares about, she shares those sentiments with them. Maybe not directly, but sometimes subconsciously or indirectly. Mary's the one they go to relax and recognize that not all things are happening against us, that everything is happening for us. So this is Mary's rule. Does that mean that Mary is skilled at applying that strength? No, it does not mean that. It just means that she really cares about it, right? And how much she cares about it is determined by how high up in the report it is. So if it's number 1, she cares about it more than anything else. If it's number 10, she cares about it more than 11 through 34, right? But not as much as some of the others. And so ultimately, when we're taking the strengths assessment, we understand this is what we care about. It doesn't necessarily mean we are skilled at it. So when you take the strengths assessment, you find out what you care about. You find out what matters to you. And I give you a roadmap to turn that theme, which is technically a talent, not a skill, turn that theme into a skill because it's what you care about. It's your core values. It's part of your rules. When you're doing things in alignment with your core values, you build skill faster. And each and every one of those 34 strengths are skill-based. All of them. They all are skill-based. So now that you understand that each of your strengths, right, are your rules, now go back to your strengths assessment and take a look at strength number 1. Read the description that Gallup has given you. Start there, okay? Start there. And then ask yourself, is that how I believe things should be? You're going to find that you believe that that's how things should be in everything, that everyone should be that way. Everyone should follow those rules. Everyone should do it that way because everyone will benefit the same way that you have. Now we'll take it one more, and I'm going to give you an action item here. You've taken the strength, you've read the description, you realize your rule is what works for you and what the world should do. Now, think of something you do, like a process or a routine or a tool, like a lot of my friends are essential oil lovers, right? Or like essential oils or some kind of product that you love to use, or something like a skill or a hobby. Right? Like I love going to the movies. And you look at these things, pick one that you like, pick a tool, right? Or a system or maybe a book that you've read. And what you do is you share that tool with others because it represents on it, like this tool, this outside thing, it represents a usage, an application of your rule. So for example, Melody could use her strengths knowledge, right, to help people be better cheerleaders. Because Melody has developed her as a strength, and that's a rule for her. Melody, do you understand that, right? So you say, I teach people how to use their strengths so that they can be better cheerleaders of themselves and others. And cheerleading brings all these benefits. And here's a list of all the things that aren't going to go well if you're not being a better cheerleader. And now you're selling strengths or whatever it is you want, right? Mary, let's pretend Mary sells soap. Okay, let's pretend Mary sells soap. I prefer cheerleader than coach. For me, I decided that a long time ago. Awesome, Jen, yes. Okay, so let's pretend Mary sells soap. If Mary sold soap and she has connectedness high, what she would do, right, is say, I love this soap, right? It feels so good when I use it, and it helps me relax. It helps me be calm. It's a calming soap. When I'm bathing or I'm showering, I suddenly feel this peace and calm come over me, and I feel safe. I feel like no matter what, everything is working towards me. Everything is working for me and all of us. And even the most horrible situations in our lives aren't so bad. So when I use this soap, I feel that calm come over me. You should try it. You should try it. You should try this soap. Mary, do you understand? By the way, I don't know if you like soap or not, but I'm just using it as an example, right? So in other words, the things you do, y'all, are representations of what your rules are, what you talk about, what you sell, what you share, what you promote, who you follow, what groups you're part of, what books you read, what movies you watch, what music you listen to, the people you hang out. These people in your mind represent people that do things that honor your top 10 rules. And now you understand how this is not an assessment of your strengths. It's assessment of your rules and the things you care about. And when you live in your rules and the things you care about, often they can become strengths, but they're not necessarily strengths. You've got to do that work. You've got to download that report. You got to follow me. You got to hear me take you through the step-by-steps of applying those strengths for you. And then I want to teach you how to do this for other people, right? So coming up very soon, August, I think it's, coming up very soon, I'm going to be doing a 5-day strengths challenge. In that 5-day strengths challenge, I'm going to teach you how to unleash your strengths absolutely free and how to help others do the same. So that's coming. Christy says, empathy, harmony, and includer are my top 3. Yeah, see, so Christy's rules are people's feelings matter. People should care about how things flow, and people should be inclusive. These are part of Christy's rules. Does that mean she's excellent at including people? No. Does that mean that she's great at making sure things are flowing right for people? No. Does that mean that Christy is amazing at feeling people's feelings and helping them? No, it does not mean that. What it means is that those are the things she cares about, and then she has a potential to turn them into skills. But when you understand your strengths, you understand your rules, you understand why people trigger you, and then you understand, oh, that's because those people have different strengths high. Yeah, that's it, right? And guess what? Those strengths they have high are probably your low ones. And you could learn, you could benefit from people who say things that you don't like or agree with. You can learn from them. Always. Okay, my friends, have an awesome day. I hope you appreciate this. The Summer of Strengths is coming to a close, and we're going to end it with a 5-day strengths challenge at the end of August. And so keep an eye out my emails, my posts here on Facebook. Make sure you're getting the notifications and following. Make sure you're doing all that and invite people. This 5-day strengths challenge is to help you unleash your strengths, to help people who are taking the strengths assessment again, right? And people who belong to groups or programs, and you want to incorporate strengths and you want to make strengths more part of maybe your coaching programs or your communities or your business, right? Or your company. Do you want to make strengths part of that? This 5-day strengths challenge is going to give you the steps to incorporate that into your group. Okay, very excited. So make sure you're answering my emails. Make sure you're opening up my text messages. Make sure you're sharing this with other people, because my number 5 strength is ideation. That means that there are people that are not seeing the most important thing they need, which is their strengths. They're ignoring them. People are ignoring their own strengths, and that needs to stop. It needs to stop right now. Help me help other people stop ignoring their strengths. Start focusing on them, because it's part of what makes you amazing, and the world needs you. Christy says, thank you for the summer of strength. It's been nice to be reminded of my strengths again. That's what I'm here for, Christy. My pleasure. We got more fun stuff coming all the way to the end of August. Then we move into the next phase, right? What happens in September in Summer of Strengths? For those of you that join the Unleash Your Strengths community, you're going to find out. We'll see you all soon. Bye, everybody.